There we go. We are live.
That's the "Are you ready? Are you steady? Are you go?" That's true.
Yes. All those things. Welcome back, everybody. So you guys asked for it yesterday. So today our live is about Strange New Worlds. Season 1, the things we'd like to see. Top 10 things from each of us.
It's almost deja vu from yesterday, but at the same time, completely different.
Yes.
And that was a real blast. If you remember back to then, the
That's so long ago.
long time of the before time. No, it was great, and this is a very different show with very different potential. And we've seen a few things of, but also our list will be. I think I may be different. I assume we'd have different wants for this.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Because I know some things you just don't care about. Not in a bad way, just some things is like, no.
Well, when I made the list earlier, I thought it was just for Strange New Worlds, not just season 1. So I had to take one or two things out because obviously it's not going to happen in season 1.
Okay. Interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't even like think beyond a season, sort of in vibe wise. That's interesting. Ooh.
Yeah. But anyway, welcome back, guys and gals.
No, this is gonna be fun, I think.
Yeah.
Although I do think the tempered expectations of what we've seen so far has helped.
Yeah, I would say so.
But it does not mean anything much in terms of what we may or may not. No, still out of bloody way.
Hold on one second. I'll just be right with you.
There we go. Okay, now yes, so yes. Got 2 lists, ladies and gentlemen, for this. We are looking at, of course, Strange New Worlds, what we'd like to see. The sky's the limit, maybe. And I think it'll be a good discussion. Okay.
There, I'm back.
Yes.
All right. So, wow, 36 people here already, 35 likes. Wow, that's awesome. Hit that like button though if you haven't.
Yes, I think we're on time exactly. So, but like, what? What?
Like a minute early, or a minute over, I mean, but that's okay.
It's like a cinema. They always come a few minutes late to Trekyards live, but today they're like, oh, wow. They're right there. Damn.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to start sharing. I'll be with you in a second.
Alrighty.
The planet and us are connected.
Well, guys, that's just you and me here now. Hit that like button. Let's get those likes up. Let's aim for 50 right away. That's another 12 likes. I think that's very doable. 75 will be the next goal after that. So hit that like button. If you guys want to super chat, please feel free. Let us know what you guys want to see out of Strange New World Season 1. We look forward to hearing your ideas as well. We love talking about your ideas and our ideas as well. So let's have a good discussion today. And hopefully let's get this franchise or this series off to a good start with some of our ideas. I think that might be a fun thing to do. So anyway, yeah, so like I said, super chats are a good way to do that. You get your voice heard. We read your comment or question on the air. Same with PayPal. If you want to send a PayPal, just send it to trekyards@hotmail.com and just let us know in the regular chat that you've done that, and we will read your comment or question via the email from PayPal. You can also join the channel. Make sure you're subscribed, obviously. Subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell icon to all. And also don't forget to check out the join button. There's a join button there that helps us on a monthly basis, which is very helpful. More than you realize, those channel memberships are a big deal. So if you're able to join at any kind of rank, by all means, feel free to do that because it's fun and you get a rank and all that jazz. So you can also join us over on Patreon/Trekyards. It's another monthly way to support the channel and keep us giving you this content and bringing you cool stuff all the time. We love doing it and we want you to enjoy your time here as well. So if you're able to, please do. Also checking out the Teespring store, Teesprings and TeePublic. The TeePublic store has a sale on right now until yesterday. It's over. Never mind. There's another one coming up probably in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, another sale. So if you want to go check out the Trekyards merchandise there right now and see what you might want to grab when it goes on sale, because they do a 35% off sale quite often. So that might be a good idea. Go check it out and bookmark some things. that you might be interested in. Throw them in your cart. Other than that, just liking the videos, subscribing to the channel, sharing the videos around, all that kind of jazz. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it now. And Router215 will get to your super chat in just a second. I just realized I forgot to grab my drink, which is over there.
But luckily, I'm back now.
Oh, so you can keep them company. I'll be right back.
Let's log into the Trekyards version of the stream site and see what you guys are saying. Yeah, so we did Discovery yesterday. Tremendous reaction. You guys voted for this. Overwhelmingly voted for this one. So hopefully you guys will jump in and let us know what you're excited for. Well, the 10 most things. Because I'm pretty interested to see. I think we're very different as well.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah.
Stop being bored now. I'm back.
That's fair. That's fair. Now this is a show that we've heard lots of tidbits of, in terms of the people behind the scenes, somewhat pandering, I would say. Oh, it's going to be like the original. Oh, it's going to be, what do you think when you what do you see when you think of the original? You see the original. It'll be very character based. It'll be very episodic. But these are all things we've heard before in one way or another from the other shows, and they normally don't pan out. They might think they're panning out, but when you get in down the rabbit hole of your own ideas, you might be able to take that step back and say, "Oh wait, what did we do?" So I'm not going to take any of that honestly as valid, apart from the more episodicness. But that's, it can be great or it could be not so great, So everything else I'm going to take with, because it literally is the actor's job to promote a product until it's released, even after it's released, and only when they're out of contract after a while they can speak plainly. And even if they want to stay working with the company, they could stay, not talking about it. That's why you often see actors that are sort of blacklisted can suddenly say the truth because they suddenly have nothing else to lose, So they're not going to say bad things, are they?
Yeah. We got some super chats to start, so let's. Wouter215 puts in €10.
Thank you. Wow.
See some truly strange new worlds with strange new aliens and mysteries for the Pike Enterprise crew to investigate. Also, for those new worlds to join the Federation. Hit like, people. Yes.
Maybe there could be a joke that the original Cerritos, the TOS version, comes in after these strange new worlds. It's like, oh yes, it's the NCC Deliver Cerritos. And then what we get in TNG is the next to be named it. That'd be fun.
Paul Rollo puts in $5. Anything but pipes and steam valves. Hell yeah. And concrete walls and dripping water.
I mean, I'm okay with pipes because there were TOS pipes literally every single
goes nowhere, doesn't it?
Yeah, pipes are actually fine. It's just don't make them look all metally and whatever. Make them look like just part of the, there's a subtlety to them you need to have. Yeah. But yeah, steam, silly.
Olivia Julius, $5. I want to see a strange new ready room from the captain. 2 Puggy Life Vest for the Puggy. 2 Puggy Life Vest. What? Well, be a new setup eventually once everything's done downstairs. So, yeah.
It can be fancy and brand sparkling new. But guys, because you went first last time, I'm gonna call it first this time.
No, that's not how that works. Nice try. I'm just kidding. That's exactly what I planned on doing anyway.
But I actually want to know briefly in the chat who actually saw this thumbnail and thought that looks like a young William Shatner, and who just saw it as William Shatner and forgot so didn't look in We're No Man. What do you think of digitally de-aged that I did, Shatner?
Very, very good. Very, very good.
Because it's not necessarily want to see Shatner necessarily, but young Shatner, young Kirk would be interesting. So who actually saw that and it's like, oh, that's quite cool. I do like playing with this digital stuff. It's interesting.
Yeah, he likes playing with his stuff.
Tech stuff. It's fun.
Tech Sergeant Chen.
Dear me.
Snoopy McQueen throws in $5. Better character development, better stories, and tech that could become real. Dun, dun, dun. Yes.
But the tech's still got to fit in with TNG, so that's still a risk. it can't be too advanced. It can't be warp
Yes.
30. Like, it can be, but it shouldn't. You know what I mean. Pre-tinge warp scale. But we've also definitely established that Pike doesn't like the new stuff, so it'd be a backwards character step for him to say, "Oh yes, put the holograms back," despite actively making rip them out of all the subsystems, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Yay, Marty! Good.
All right. Well, let's get underway. Let's launch this ship, as they say.
He wants to leave dry
And
dock.
I'm going to let the commander take her out of dry dock today with his number 10.
Quarter impulse to number 10.
Regulations specify thrusters only while in space dock.
Fine. Warp 1! And the dry dock explodes. My number 10 is Lan Noonien Singh. Total, what moment, but intrigued me enough to make the top 10 number on my list. You don't introduce someone like this unless they're going to be meaningful. I say that, and then you introduce other characters that aren't necessarily meaningful, like Saru in Season 1. So, no, okay, fine. They might not, but that was the old team. So it feels like there's got a purpose, a reason, a story, and this could be a really fun, really different story. Again, knowing their past track record, at least of this production team set, they make bad choices, but with character arcs, but fresh people, new showrunner maybe. It's a ballsy move, but if they can actually succeed, it could be real fun. Or it could be a wet squib, obviously, of I'm Noonien Singh only by name, not by blood. Blah, blah, blah. It's weird, but it's so intriguing. It jumps onto the 10th place on my list of. Yeah, I'm excited.
But this is things we want to see. You want to see her? Is that what you're?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I want to see more of her. Make her, see where they're taking the character. The teaser was enough to get me excited, and I want to see this realized and done properly.
Fair enough. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be intriguing to see what they do with this character, and the name being so close to Lan, like real creative guys. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing necessarily, but we will see how it goes with this. We've kind of talked about the possibilities with her and how she might be related to or be dealing with the name that she has. Maybe she's got a different name to start, and it comes out this is actually her real name. And because we were comparing it to like the name Hitler and the connotations that carries, it's just kind of a thing that is a little rough to deal with, possibly. So, yeah.
Lots of potential. I want to see where they take that. Because a lot of this stuff is obviously we've been presented certain things. But this was enough of a curveball that's like, okay. It's kind of like, I think it actually would be an analogy to say, if you saw Worf in the trailer for TNG Season 1, you're thinking, ooh, Klingons on the bridge? Ooh, where are they going to take that? It is that potentially radical. Less actually interesting, obviously. That had more scope. But it's just as weird. Ooh, okay.
Interesting way to start out your list. I didn't expect that one, honestly.
I'm intrigued, man. I'm intrigued. Because I know if I was writing the character, I could give him a really interesting story. So there's potential there. Just doesn't mean it'll be given fruition.
Yeah. Well, let's see where my number 10 leads us. My number 10 can literally lead us anywhere on the ship, because my number 10 is I want to see a goddamn turbo lift shaft.
Oh my God.
An actual turbo lift shaft. I want to see the turbo lifts and interior space on that ship make sense.
But we saw them in the short trek, Stuart.
No, they're going to fix it.
It was
they're going to fix it. No, they're going to fix it. It's not going to be the turbo lift caverns anymore. It's going to literally be a turbo lift shaft. Because this picture that I have here is a TOS turbo lift shaft. I think it's from one of the fan films, but
no, it's
nonetheless.
Or is it? No, it's TOS remastered, I think.
Is it? Yeah, it's related to TOS things. So
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I want to see get rid of the goddamn turbo lift caverns and make the interior of your ship make sense. That's a big issue for me, and it was just going to be initially interior details that make sense, but I really wanted to focus on the turbolift shafts because, like, have them crawl through one at one point. Have them. We saw Picard and the kids climb up one. We've seen them multiple times, even in Voyager and stuff, even in the movies, even though they have 75 decks. But anyway, we've seen what they are supposed to be like. Let's please fix that. It's a big issue for me.
Wow, that's a ballsy but very on brand first one. So, I mean, how many of these are going to be? We want to see this is actually how we want to see the fixed thing, which is I mean not wrong. Yeah, I mean maybe the first episode will have a dedicated turbolift ride. They get stuck to kind of prove we can do it right.
Doubt it.
I doubt it, but
I don't have faith in them. But this is what things we wanted to see in season 1. That's what this list is. Not things that should just be a given.
But it will be astounding if they continue to have their turbolift roller coasters. I mean, this is meant to be a smarter, more character-driven show. You can't. That stuff doesn't.
Yeah, does not compute.
Yeah, there's not even a reason for it. Not really.
No.
Okay.
Olivia Julie throws in $2 and says hundreds of disco shuttles. How about no?
I'd rather have Picard fertilizers than that. No. And I can imagine though that if they did, because they're not going to stick to their short trek engineering room as canon.
I hope not.
It was awful. Work bees flew in and out of it. How appalling is that as a concept? And they're not going to stick, because the front door of that is the door to the shuttle bay. Well, they don't have the shuttle bay set. That's the Discovery set. They're not going to walk over there every time they enter engineering, which comes off Discovery. It just doesn't make any sense. So taking the elements from the short treks, I don't think they take those as their own personal canon. They're just like, that's past. So same thing with the turbos, hopefully. If the corridors are different, the engineering is different, turbos look different, then
I'm hoping. That's what interior details that makes sense was my initial idea for this, but I wanted to focus it a bit more. Right. So there you go. Interesting way to start. I think our lists are going to be quite different.
You just want to see tall, hard shafts. That's what you want to see, rather than big, wide, open vacuums. So you're saying?
Yes.
You want to see some shafts?
Yes, the tighter the shaft, the better the ride, as they say. So.
But also the quicker the ride.
Wow.
Because in a giant turbolift vacuum, it takes you hours to go meters, whereas in this, you get to your completion point very quickly.
Jesus Christ.
That looked so well, Stuart. That's shocking.
That was good.
My number 9.
Yeah, number 9 from the Commander.
Things I most want to see in Change of Worlds is I'm using a picture of Uhura here, but really it's how they utilize named characters that are side characters. I want to see Daystrom. I want to see. Do I have any more examples? I want to see random admirals that we saw once. I want to see, people and names that were single appearance characters that they can incorporate from alien races to familiar people, not necessarily the Chekhovs and Sulis, etc. But even, Janice Rand and things, have this pantheon of side people in the universe that, yes, they're exploring strange new worlds, but doesn't mean you can't talk to the same admiral you talked to in TOS, add a bit more depth, add a bit of that canon, because this is your chance to actually truly be in TOS, because this basically is TOS, and deepen those characters. So, and obviously with Uhura especially, that you're going to give her more lines in one episode potentially than you have in a season of TOS. Unless she's treated like one of the bridge crew in Discovery, then she'll get even less lines than Uhura got in the 60s, even though it's 50 whatever years past. So just using the secondaries, the tertiaries really, in this context, and giving them a bit more of a meaningful something or other,
Yeah. I might have more to say about this soon. So, but yeah, Jonathan C throws in $2 and says more dot robots.
But they're not canon. I mean, they are canon, but they don't make sense.
Maybe there's an episode where the dot robots go insane and start ripping apart the ship and start killing the crew. So they decide, these aren't a great idea. Let's get rid of these fucking things and never use them ever again.
Yeah. So the dot
They're actually a
uprising.
fantastic idea for starship repair. They make a lot of sense, but they just don't work where they would never were. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah, perfect for the 32nd century.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dear me.
Yeah. All right. Well, my number 9.
Yep.
I want to see the USS Farragut at some point. This is the ship that Kirk served on as a lieutenant. I think just seeing it, even if they do a mission with it, they're not necessarily seeing Kirk, but just seeing another one of the class of ships. And then I'll get to more of that later. But the Farragut is an important ship in Star Trek. It's mentioned quite a bit. And to actually see the one that Kirk served on in the time before Kirk was a captain, I think would be a nice little touchstone that I think would really help the franchise as far as establishing this fleet, the Starfleet fleet that we know is out there. It's not super big or anything, but it would be a nice little mission to just go, not necessarily find the ship gutted with everybody dead on it, kind of like the Defiant and Tholian Web. Don't want that, but go on a little mission with them or something. I think that'd be neat. And maybe get a reference to Kirk, not necessarily see him yet. I wouldn't mind seeing him at like the end of the series where they hand over the ship to him. That would be great. But they said they weren't going to give us Spock. They gave us Spock. They said they're not going to give us Kirk. They're going to give us Kirk. I just hope they don't do it in season 1. But I wouldn't mind seeing the ship at least, or at least getting a reference or two to the Farragut would be great.
I hope they don't ever show the first meeting of Kirk and Spock, because no future showrunner will ever undo that canon and say, oh, this is how it really happened. This is in Doctor Who. So this team shouldn't be the ones that make that moment. That's embarrassing if it did. Or unless they do it perfectly, but there's zero chance of that. Like, not even 1% really. So, but seeing Farragut, assuming the art design is fixed to some extent, the exterior, because once you show it, more canonizing their broken aesthetics. But yes, having a Captain Pike, Captain's Log, we're meeting the Farragut in orbit of planet B444, and you see another colony, and then he beams aboard, and him and the other captain banter on their bridge, and then they walk to the transport room, they beam to their same sets, and then walk to his bridge, and they get one long walk and talk through both ships, and it's identical, and that's the joke. Would be really fun. And then and then he's like, oh, you've got the new Helms console, and then you see the TOS thing come up. It's like, oh, the Mark 6. Yeah, absolutely. Colonies are meant to be the pride of the fleet. So seeing a second one, I don't think for a second they're going to stick to the canon of 12 colonies. I think they're going to say, fuck that, do their own thing. We'll leave 30 colonies in a battle, who cares, But if they did incorporate the canon as they should, then they might have, oh, we haven't seen another colony in 6 months.
Yeah.
Wow, 2 colonies in one place? Ooh, it's being a big engagement. Yeah, that could be really fun. Now, is Farragut the would there be any ones you'd want to see as the third? If there was 3 in a row?
Any of them. I'd love to see the Hood, the Excalibur, some of the ones that we've seen in TOS would be nice as well. So yeah, any of them actually. Yeah. Or even a reference to building more, because they initially had the 12 or 14, I forget which one it was, but then they did build more after the fact. So I don't know if they would talk about the fleet at all. I think that'd be interesting, especially considering we just supposedly had a Klingon war. If they're using the Discovery, whatever. Anyway, rebuilding the fleet, some kind of mention of some new ships would be great. So
yeah, no, I like it. That's good.
Yeah. And I know they're going to bring Kirk into this at some point. I just don't think it's going to be season 1.
It depends how successful it is. Kirk is the ace in the hole they can throw in to get views.
Yeah. Be interesting to see who they cast for that, though, too. So.
Yeah. And Ick the Bat says, I want to see the Miranda. Yeah, show the Reliant. TOS Reliant to the Miranda variant.
Well, you need to stay tuned. It's more on my list.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Not all ship. The next one's the Hood. The next one's the Excalibur. Number 6 is the Congo. Yeah.
And honorable mention is the
Enterprise.
My god. Cool. Okay, I like it. Yeah, that's good. I mean, seeing a sister ship, play that for all it's worth. And we never knew the captain of the Farragut, so
yeah. And it could be very much like TNG, where they meet the Yamato, and the Yamato gets destroyed or something. Like, don't destroy the ship, obviously, but it's cool seeing another sister ship, like 2 Galaxy classes on screen. Was cool. Seeing it pull up to, it's just, that's what we need more of that. We need the establishment of this TOS fleet that we keep hearing about and never see.
Yeah, and I can imagine just having Kirk there, because he's not important on Farragut, as he's just one of the crew. So having him be a no-name cut.
He's still a whiz kid. Walking stack of books. Like he goes through the academy pretty quick, and then his career too. So
I'm sure there's quite a few whiz kids though. We were on the connies, but you're right. But it'd be kind of fun if they cut to just random white male on the bridge and they say, "Take us to warp." It's like, his haircut's familiar. That's all, folks.
Take us to warp. What is the course heading?
But sir,
okay.
Spock. Wait, what? Cool. Okay. Fun. Well, my number 8 is, let's remind ourselves, me included. Ah, yes. I'm really interested, and definitely be still my beating heart, let the dread roll, seeing their new iterations on the phaser and tricorder and communicator. Because they're not using the Discovery ones, they're not going to use the Cage ones, then they're not going to use the TOS ones, but they really should potentially use TOS ones. So I'm really eager to see what they do, because they can easily make fans happy, make things look nice. I would be shocked to use the Discovery ones. So and they can't really argue it can be much. If the Discovery one looked already close enough and it needs to get closer to TOS, they can't deny the canon there. Then to get it any closer is going to be very satisfying. But it can't go much more close. There isn't much between the two. They're very similar. That's one of the few things they kept consistent the first time. But seeing the new generation of hand props, ones I might actually want, get 3D printed, etc. And they might honestly just be similar props with the gold accenting back. Those brighter colours to come back in. They're kind of define, because Discovery's all silver and blues. Well, obviously apart from the communicator, but yeah, I'm interested to see where they go with that.
Yeah, I mean, arguably one of the best things about Discovery was the design of the phaser. It incorporated the 3 thing like the Cage one and still had the TOS look. So that was one of the best things that they did for that. Before we move on, though, Mark Lawrence, $5. Calling it now. Farragut shows up at the end of last episode of season 1. Some crew is injured, including senior staff. Lieutenant Kirk is captaining. Whoa, that's a great call. That'd be great.
I mean, it would be super similar to Discovery season 1, but I mean,
yeah,
we also got 2 sentient AI forces back to back, and 2 time travel. So, yeah.
We have 78 likes with 110 people here, guys. Hit that like button. The next goal is 100. So let's get to that.
I'm kind of surprised we got less people than for Discovery. A lot less people. I know we've only been going a little bit of time, but
Well,
I thought would be bigger. But let's do our first poll though. Do you want to see Kirk in season 1? Yes or no?
Yeah, make sure you clarify season 1, because
yes,
I do want to see Kirk, but at the end, I want to see the handover of the Enterprise. That'd be a great way to end a series. Beautiful.
Yeah, so vote now. I'd love to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I think I go either way. Depends how they do it, as with all these things.
Yeah, but no, I mean, as for technology and the tricorder and stuff, there's a lot of possibilities for sure that they could do. And yeah, I hope they're new props. I don't want them to use the Discovery ones. I don't mind the Discovery ones. I kind of like the look of the phaser, but we're not at the Cage, so we're not going to see the Cage stuff. There's no way they would do that. But to have some almost TOS look, or even just getting the new phasers and they look like the more advanced TOS one, that'd be awesome. So I agree with you there.
Yeah,
I don't want them ruining more characters. I know this to Jericho, but they're going to. So
yeah, but yeah, we like tech, and this stuff is another playground of what they could design. And also they might do, a new captain's logbook and a new the floppy disks.
Yeah.
It's things they could do.
New data disks. All right, so my number 8 kind of falls in line with your number 9. And I want to see like Scotty and Sulu at least, because we don't know when they get brought onto the Enterprise. I don't think it'll be season 1, honestly. But at some point during the course of the series, I would like to see them come on board. I think that'd be nice as like an introduction to these characters, if it's done properly, that is. There's so many like possibilities, like you even mentioned Janice Rand and stuff as well, that could be on board already. Like we don't know how long they've necessarily served. And it'd be interesting if Scotty was, this was his baby before Kirk came on board. I kind of like that. Was Scotty chief engineer? Like, is he just one of the engineers at this point? That would be kind of nice too. And see his mentor, perhaps, whoever the chief engineer is. So, and what will Sulu be doing? Will he be? I don't know what he could be this week, because he's been a botanist. He's been, so many things.
Well, maybe there's a lot of botany stories.
There you go. There you go.
Lieutenant Spock, why do we keep dealing with botany emergencies? Well, this Sulu character, we quite like him. Okay, then botany emergency of the week number 3. It's always a botany subplot to get him in the plot line. Yeah, I'm my only note about them specifically is that they'll then obviously have new actors, have new retcon versions. They'll do their own thing, which might go against the canon, as they tend to do. Blah 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 blah. But it will detract from their own characters. Now, by introducing the old characters as the current characters, it won't feel as much. But if you get Spock and Sulu and Chekhov and all these people at some point on the ship, well, that's basically just TOS crew with Pike. Which is meant to be its own show, and I could see them doing half and half, which makes sense. It's that close. But I do like they're having a Chekhov, Scotty as being the second in command of engineering who takes over. That's quite cute. Although they did say he served on like 7 ships, so it's fine if he's not. I almost like that the fresh crew came on board around the same time Kirk did it. New captain went to dry dock, got some new assignments. A fresh start with TOS, and so you get 2 eras. That's why Uhura's the weird exception, but I don't need to see this Doctor Man though. Just saying.
No, but the lady, she could have been there.
Sure.
Dr. Keller, I think.
Doctor Future God.
There's lots of possibilities. And actually, if they do it right, if they actually introduce a new cast, so you get like a new Kirk at the end, you get a Scotty or Sulu on board for like the last 2 seasons or something. Then you have that established new crew, much like the JJ crew. Once Strange New Worlds ends, take a break, make a new series that finishes off the 5-year mission with these actors looking a little bit older. It could be done properly and it could be done well. They will probably butcher it, but I mean, it's just a possibility, So they could do it. Milk the cow, as it were. So, but yeah.
Like
it. Let's see Decker. Let's see Commodore Decker as a captain before he gets to become a Commodore. Come on board and help out Pike with a mission or something.
Or Decker from TMP, a young Decker. Ensign Decker.
Decker, I hardly even know her.
I mean, while it's great to invent new characters, since we never see them again in TNG or any other shows, by definition their value is going to be lessened. Because this is a piggybacking off the success of TOS, the show. So, while you shouldn't do the whole show with old cast, to invent new cast, we know that all will leave the ship in 2 years, 3 years. It's like, okay, there's only so much you can gain from that. Because they might say, we love this person so much, we'll keep them on. It's like, yeah, but they weren't science officers during TOS. Yeah, well, they were. It's like, well, okay, just mess up canon again. So it's real tricky. Now, if they go lower decks vibe, where we see all these people as super low deck people, doesn't matter where they are, what they're doing, etc.
Or even see like a young Dr. Daystrom come on board because there's something introducing the Duotronic computers into the ships, or there's a problem with the Enterprises.
Yep.
That'd be neat. You know?
That's why I said have random admirals and commodores that we saw from TOS.
Yeah.
You know, have them go and trade with the guy as Sereno Jones. It'd be fun. You know. But just not as dark and mean as Mud.
Yeah, yeah.
Not as murdery.
Agree.
Yes. Cool. All right. Well, my number
7.
thank you, is yes, old alien races, and specifically alien foes from TOS. And here I've got the Tholians. Now, there's to some extent they're all being first met in TOS, but they're not necessarily first met in TOS. This is so close that you can kind of have some skirmishes. You know, I would love to see a few of those races, and Kazinti and whatever, and races that we aren't really gonna we probably never really saw in TNG and DS9 and Voyager and whatever. Well, it makes sense to show Tholians in a TOS-esque era, etc. Have some of those races. Yeah,
You gotta be careful with that because, yeah, as you said, most of them are introduced for the first time in TOS, like the Gorn, like the Romulans. Not introduced. The Romulans were finally found out what they look like because we had the Romulan War, but there was no visual communication. So, but and they were careful with that on Enterprise. They didn't show a Vulcan, at least to one of the human people. So, anyway, yeah, you gotta be careful with that. There is stuff in beta canon that they could bring in, I guess, like you said, the Kazinti and stuff, which are now canon, which is fine. That'd be great, actually. See more of Cetacean people like MRES. Not MRES specifically.
But Tholians especially, they weren't first met in TOS. They were a nuisance. This is Tholian space, so they would be the prime. If you're gonna have one like big bad race, I'd have it be Tholians. They're a bit of a dick.
And in Tholian Web, Spock is like, when he's in command, he says the Tholians are known for their punctuality. So if they meet a Tholian in this series and Spock's dealing with them and they're just a little bit late for whatever they're, he's already had experience with it, so it would work for the Tholian Web in TOS. So yeah, I'm down for that.
And even a few of the TNG races, I could justify seeing again, and they just don't make contact well. And then they move on. Sheliak, a few of those ones, because a lot of meetings. I mean, Enterprise and X1, they met people and then didn't lead to anything because they were so long apart. So meet a few of those races, because thing is, a lot of these one-off aliens. If it's an alien in a ship flying X, Y, and B, he might not say, "Ah, yes, for the good of my people, I'll go relay meeting this alien species. Yes, off I go home to relay." You know what I mean? Not every encounter is going to get relayed as some important thing. So I think because we're in such a certain point in the timeline, I think you can have a few of those. And, the NX-01 races, meet the Xindi again. Go deal with some insectoids. Go deal with some, there's definitely potential, obviously. But because they're right at the precipice of everyone knowing everyone, I think you justify it a lot more. And certainly bring the Enterprise races back would be great. They're all waiting to be meted. So yeah.
Squadron Course, $2. Stuck at work. Thanks for discussion. Makes it better. Absolutely. Enjoy your work.
Yeah.
If you don't enjoy your work, just zone out and enjoy us. Just don't get hurt if it's something dangerous.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, there's a lot of potential there, but that's a slippery slope again. You got to be careful what you do with that because they'll screw it up. Like they had the Ferengi in Enterprise when that didn't make any sense.
I think they did them rather well.
They did, but yeah, I don't know. You got to be careful. People are sticklers for that kind of stuff. So
luckily, there is kind of those black and white lines of making sense, and that's fine. And like you said, are you really going to relay every meeting with everybody? Why can't they meet a random Ferengi trader and then whatever?
Yeah. Yeah. Sergeant Montgomery throws in $5.
Thank you.
I would like to see them go to Kaminar and settle this peace between the Ba'ul and the Kelpians. sure. Moving on.
I wouldn't be against seeing a Kelpian. They already have the makeup. They already have the money spent.
Yeah.
Kelpian in Starfleet uniform would be... Well, no, they can't happen yet for a long time. No, they can't. Yeah, you can't really see Kelpian.
Can't. Nope.
No, you can't. That's Discovery season 3.
You could work on a peace treaty though. Like he's got that part right.
Between the two, but I just don't care about Kelpian and Ba'u at all. Who the hell? Like I don't.
I know.
They're non-races. But I mean, who cares? If they learn to fly the Ba'u fighters in about 45 minutes, then of course I'm sure they're already building capital ships the size of Death Star now. They're that amazing. But I would have been down to see a Kelpian somewhere. Just doesn't actually make sense really. I tried. Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay.
Let's go to my number 7.
Mm.
My number 7 is I want to see Dr. Boyce. Not only Dr. Boyce, but I want to see Dr. Boyce played by Jeffrey Combs because
Who?
They look enough alike. Jeffrey Combs.
Do you know this guy? What?
Never heard of him? Oh, okay. Well, never mind then. But yeah, I think Dr. Boyce, just even if he's just leaving the ship in season 1, would be great. Just to see him like for an episode or two, or maybe half a season, and then he retires and leaves the ship. Because he was one of the people that could put Pike or calm Pike down at least, as we saw in the cage. And he was a nice enough guy, like an old country doctor again, kind of like McCoy, but I think it'd be an interesting character to flesh out, and I think Combs could definitely do it. And to have him be a regular cast member, like a crew member for like the hero ship, would be interesting. And if it's only for half a season, then it's not really a issue, and he can even come back later, for whatever reason. Like Dr. Boyce needs to be mentioned or seen for the first little while, especially in season 1. So, yeah, Dr. Boyce.
Briefly before I jump on that, Good Old Gamer says, I wonder if they'll dare to do blackface Klingons again, lol. All I'd say to that is they do greenface Orions. It's not blackface if it's making Klingons look like Klingons. It's just the colour of the aliens. Otherwise, greenface would be racist too. No, it's not a direct parallel, but it's just face makeup to create a look of an alien. Otherwise, you can't make anyone look like anything, so...
Yeah, there's a definite difference between blackface and makeup. So...
Yeah. I mean, J.J. Hurt's a fantastic Klingon. So, it's a Klingon, not a black man. It's a Klingon. Yeah, no, but, I mean, I was tempted with this one, but he's so not important in the pilot, in the grand scheme. He would have been important, but he doesn't leave that amazingly long-lasting impression for me.
He did for me, though.
There you go. Because McCoy comes in being like a really refined, like he's how he would have played it if the actor was just better at got it more.
I think so. Yep.
I think kind of like Pike, neither of them quite got what they were doing. Whereas McCoy and Shatner and DeForest kind of like they zoned in, they kind of got it in some small way. But yeah, certainly we've had this argument before. Jeffrey Combs is perfect. I could definitely see you setting this up as quite a tragic like half season arc where he leaves Starfleet or he goes into the Farragut. Reassignment. That'd be a nice cheeky way of doing that. When we have some trauma, because the character can't stay around, so you can kind of use that to your advantage of really screwing up.
But you have a few years for him. You don't know when specifically he goes.
Well, that's the thing. You do or you don't. You can invent that as you go.
Yeah.
I didn't get the sense he would have been there until Kirk was there, but that's.
I didn't either, but.
So yeah, you play that exactly how you want. I mean, you can kill him. Honestly, I wouldn't be too afraid if you make him really epic, like kind of like Dr. Phlox risked his life with the Borg nanoprobes. He risks his life, does the thing with the disease, saves the crew, Star Trek to it, and it's like, damn, Boyce, man. My heart bleeds for you, and your heart bled for yourself. Oh dear. So yeah. Or they'll just completely ignore and move past it.
I think there's got to be some mention of it at least.
You'd think there should be, yeah. If you've got Uhura.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Yeah, that's my number 7. Guys, we have 105 likes, 141 of you here. Let's get to 130. I've never really set a 130 goal before. I usually hit 120. Today's going to be 130, so let's hit that like button and let's get to 130. Super chats, honestly, are going all right. But please, by all means, super chat your ideas, things you want to see, things that if we don't make sense with what we're saying, by all means, tell us. We do read all the super chats, so if you can, please do.
And for our poll, managed to get 100 votes pretty quickly. Do you want to see Kirk in season 1? 25% yes, 75% no, which is a pretty. I thought it'd be more split. That is a smackdown right there.
I thought it'd be higher. I thought it'd be in the 80s. It was for a while, because I don't think anybody wants to see Kirk in season 1.
Yeah.
Talking just if you want to see Kirk in Strange New Worlds, that's a different thing. True. Because yes, at some point I do. But like I said, I want to
season 6 when they swap to the Enterprise with Adol Kirk because they've only got like 5 years.
yeah, exactly. So,
cool. My number
6
is the Pike storyline development. Him specifically. Yeah, exploring the Pike character, because he obviously was a standout in Discovery, but because the bar was set so low, that because he stood out especially. Having met the man, I like him less. I've met him in person. That's just my experience. Ethan I like a lot more having met him in person. This guy less, but that's fine. He's an actor's actor, not necessarily a Trek actor, and that's all good. But he's basically got a clean slate.
Yeah.
Really. Cage was the only in between, and they've already done Cage, literally in Discovery, and then those events shifted him back into being positive. So he's basically a fresh character. There really isn't anything here they can pull from that, the Cage stuff, except Vina. But we've done the Vina storyline anyway, so it really is just proto Kirk at this point, and therefore Anderson can take it wherever the writers take it. Hopefully he'll be a strong, proud, successful captain that inspires his crew. That has to be different to Kirk, though. I guess he's less young and energetic, because especially they've emphasised the grey in his hair, so I guess he's more of a tactical captain. He can't really be beaming down. That's what number 1's for, let's be honest. She's there to do the action stuff, because he's probably going to be more of a Picard, I guess, to separate him from the Kirk, because what's the point of having 2 identical characters back to back?
Yeah. Well, I think this one's a given because the series is about him and his captaincy, essentially. So I know we're going to get some interesting stuff on him, which is great. I mean, we've seen Pike in the JJ verse as well, and I like the iterations of Pike that we've seen so far. I don't think he can ruin the character. All he can do is make him better. So I mean, that's great. Yeah, I mean, the whole series is going to be focusing on I just want to see how he deals with knowing his fate and thinking if he can change it, or if that's going to be something that he's going to endeavor to do. Like he's going to make stupid decisions because he thinks there's a possibility that maybe he can change his fate. I don't know.
Well, it depends
we also know it's like the play it safe thing, right? You know you're going to die doing this one thing. So if you beam down to this planet full of lava to rescue somebody, you're going to survive. Kind of takes away all the excitement from it, right?
So do they either go the approach of, yeah, that scene Discovery with the time crystals, that didn't happen, let's just move past it, like they did with Khan's Blood and Star Trek Into Darkness, which, it's a fresh show, fresh perspective. Why are they in new uniforms? Why is the Enterprise different? Yeah, Or are they going to make it an important part of his character? Because yes, you're right. If you know you're going to die looking like that, he's going to take the most obscene risks. They're not risks. If you see yourself in the future, literally, like if Janeway saw herself in 4 years' time, it's like, well, there you go. I don't die, do I? I might have some shitty things, but I do come back. So that, if I was writing it, just like with Picard Season 2, you'd have to do the AI people things be the big threat again, because they're going to come knocking, but they're going to ignore it. Here, the only logical story for him is how does he face his impending death? Well, he becomes a reckless man who does anything. But then you have to watch Discovery, and you have to link to its time crystals, and you have to go back to the planet probably, Like, it creates all this baggage that doesn't add anything, really. But it should be the defining thing about his character. Because remember, that's the only reason why that torpedo, why he was willing to stand on a bulkhead and watch a torpedo blow up in front of us. The only reason that bulkhead survived and didn't kill him is because he wasn't going to die.
Plot armor.
Literally. And that's pathetic. So
it might be really interesting to delve deep into his characters, having him talking to a psychiatrist or a counselor, which Dr. Boyce was, kind of. So it might be interesting to have him show his weak side to this one person, to tell him his doubts and all that. And have, like, that could be really interesting if they play that properly. And there's a lot of things you can write around that. Somebody knows their fate and how they're dealing with that. Yeah, and like, I know in a few years I'm going to die. You know, I wasn't old when I saw this vision. I looked pretty young.
although
how
had
do I
less
deal
grey
with that?
hair than him right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, they dye their hair.
But yeah, that could definitely make some interesting conversations for sure.
I would imagine, though, even if they're going to address it, I would honestly have to have the character actively try and lose his memory. Like, I need to find a planet that can, or I'm looking for that planet that can let me forget that week of my life. So I can live my life without this burden, because it's a burden to know you're not going to die, it's a burden to know you are going to die. Same burden. You know, none of us want to see the day we're going to die. You know, I've got 4,000 days left. Sounds great until you get to 500. To get to 100. It ain't great. Mystery is part of the coping with life. But like I said, that links too hard on Discovery. So ignoring it, very safe option. But he should be very different for it. So I think if they're going to use it, it'd be, how do I forget this? How do I move past this? But you can't just move past it. You've got to forget it. You've got to... And I know we said that maybe the longer time crystals effects... They dwindle with time, so he's losing those memories. He's just because of the power of a time crystal, you can only keep them in your brain for so long. And so at the start of the season, he's really freaking out about it, but he's always saying he's starting to lose everything about that day is getting more hazy. And by the end of the season, he's changed his character personality because he's now free from that burden. I could see that being a logical way.
Yeah, or Devo says, or Spock does the forget on Pike. Same thing he did with Kirk. Forget. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, Pike. He gets that slot.
Number 6. My number 6. My number 6 is the shuttles. I want to see cool shuttles. I don't want to see Discovery shuttles. I want to see either the original not Jeffries design, which they could do now. And it'd be cool if these were like the precursor to the Galileo F-type that we see in TOS. Maybe even see some Galileos would be neat. But definitely something like this is doable now. And it would be cool to actually fit Jeffries' original design into something. And if it was just pre-TOS, that's why it looked like this. That would be awesome. So we know for a fact that the ship's big enough to accommodate a few of these because it's so goddamn big. So by all means, let's get some good-looking shuttles. And I don't want to see a goddamn Discovery shuttle in sight. Maybe one or two in the background of some scenes, possibly. But if the first scene is them flying to the Enterprise and docking in the shuttle bay in a Discovery shuttle, I'm going to rip out my goddamn hair. So I want to see new shuttles.
First scene, Stuart. Discovery shuttle lands in a massive 4-story bay. First shot. It's called the Galileo, and it's got a glowing warp drive unit, and it lands as a 2-story shuttle, and Spock walks out, and he's holding a Klingon's, Discovery Klingons with him, and he's in full orc mode, and there's a Romulan there, and he's like, "Hello, Spock, I'm your Romulan half-twin." What? Yep, reveal.
Everybody's like, what shuttle design is that? Looks awesome. Was it for Phase 2? No, this was going to be the original shuttle. This is what Matt Jeffries designed, and they didn't have the time or the budget to build one. So they actually licensed it out to somebody else and made an AMT model kit at the same time, just box-like, essentially. That's why the Galileo looks like it does, because it was easier to build than these curves. So this was going to be the original shuttle design. So
With a
by all means,
caveat-
let's incorporate that.
With a slight caveat, guys, that the wings are currently in the landed configuration. They go flat out when it's not. So, just slight caveat to the design there.
Do they?
Yeah, I think so.
No, I don't think they move. That was always my impression. There's
Oh.
nowhere for them to move.
Oh,
Anyway,
Fossil
it's a cool futuristic design, which, considering Jeffrey's designed the Enterprise and everything, this is just his vision, and it would be amazing to see this on screen. Chris Nimitz puts in $23.99, but PLN, I'm not sure what that is.
Oh.
I'm hoping that Pike will mind meld with Spock, and Spock will remove the memory about the accident. That would be the best course of action. Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
$6, Stuart. $6. And
What kind of currency is it, though?
Oh.
PLN. Does it?
Yeah, hold on.
I'm just curious for my own sake.
Poland.
Poland. Oh, thank you
Right.
very much. That's awesome.
God, late for you. Yeah, I mean, Spock has already got the memory, the knowledge that the universe got destroyed. He mind melded with Burnham's mum, so he's already got a lot of random crap in his brain. So I'd accept it, knowing his superior's going to die at one point, and then, yeah, okay. He has a lot of mental barriers. That's fine. Yeah, shuttles. Yeah, for sure. Discovery shuttle, throw it out. Obviously, they can't. They can't piss off the Discovery fan base and make non-warp capable shuttles. They won't make sense.
Well, this one looks like it could do warp for sure.
Sure, but
More
there's
so than the Galileo.
I can't see any chance of them using this just because they don't want to pay lip service to the Jeffries-esque. I mean, have you seen the new Enterprise yet? Well, I mean, the new old one. But yeah, shuttles, especially if they are warp capable, then exploring strange new worlds, and we know the reason they couldn't land the ship is because of the budget. And the shuttles got too expensive. But it would make more sense if you're going to explore strange new worlds, rather than beaming, which makes you susceptible to all the oxygen and death particles on that planet. Take a shuttle down, which you're in an enclosed environment, and you can do recons. And so I can imagine, because the budget is fine on this, that you could take shuttle a lot more. And that'd be really fun to see. First step is shuttle, second step is transporting, and even a shuttle like the NX-01. The shuttle pods. Once the shuttle's down there, you've now got a mobile command center, and given you've got the LED wall thing, you build a partial shuttle set, exterior. You literally have that slapped on the LED wall. You create all the backgrounds of the planets. Oh look, now I'm landing on a blue planet. Now I'm on a green planet. Now I'm landing on a snow planet. Put some snow going, and now you've got all these great I'm walking off a planet stuff, and you have a practical physical shuttle. There would look amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Matt Boardman, though, $5. Got here kind of late, so maybe you've already mentioned this. But it would be fun to see a little of Gary Mitchell early on in his career. We're not going to get that. Gary Mitchell, I bet you any money, was brought aboard the Enterprise after Kirk got command, because he's one of Kirk's buddies. Kind of like when you become president, you can bring in people that your friends, to be like Secretary of Defense and all that shit. So I'm pretty sure you're not going to see. That wouldn't make sense to have him unless him and Kirk are together, in my opinion. So
we'll see them as good friends on the Farragut.
Yes, yeah, sure.
See them beaming down the Wade team and say, "Hey, this is Lieutenant Kirk, Lieutenant Mitchell."
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the character necessarily brings to it, because it's also kind of a fresh slate. But as a double act, him and Kirk could be quite fun. But yeah, shuttles. Let's see what the new design is going to be. Hopefully
it is something new.
Hopefully TOS colours. Hopefully, I mean, it's a simple box, Stuart. It ain't hard to make that look sexy. I mean, I've done one myself. Many people have, etc.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. My number.
So number 5.
Ooh, 5. Halfway through the list is exploring the Federation member worlds and doing them right. So, actually, because we're now exploring in positive, and there aren't big apocalyptic battles to fight, seeing Andorians looking right, acting right to represent the government, seeing Vulcans, they're nice, seeing Tellarites, not hyper aggressive, rough looking ones, like the Resistance leader in Discovery Season 1, Andorian, or the Tellarite bounty hunter guy, really straightforward, official people of their government or whatever, or Starfleet officers, just seeing these classic member worlds that are hallmarks of this era and explore them a little bit, and we know in TOS there are Andorian and Tellurite ships. Bump into a Vulcan starship and you have a Vulcan landing party come aboard and you work with them and etc. etc. So seeing those classic races done right, that's the clarification here. Simplify the makeup, bring it more to TOS like or Enterprise like, and give us some straightforward explorative stories. They go to planet XYB and there's already a Vulcan landing party there, or an Andorians. Would be really nice to see it done properly.
Mm-hmm. And Miles says, yeah, we almost know nothing about the Tellurites. Yeah, I mean, they explored the Andorians quite a bit in Enterprise, so this would be a good chance to get into the Tellurites, another founding member of the Federation, for sure. Yeah, there are quite a few key member worlds that we hear about. So, I mean, we know that the Federation's not as big at this point. It's also still doing the exploratory thing. Now, Kirk and crew, they ran into a lot of Earth-like civilizations just because of the proximity to Earth, I guess. I don't know. But even in Enterprise, they had, like, the odd planet, which was, like, a Wild West town or whatever, which I kind of like that trope in a way. But how many can you do? Because, and also, like, I guess this is another 5-year mission, or is this before the 5-year missions were implemented? Like, what were they doing during the Klingon War again? They were in the middle of nowhere.
They were
exploring.
Sent out so they wouldn't be in, so that there was the best of them were sent out of the war so they wouldn't get corrupted and hurt and be destroyed.
That makes sense. All right, well,
let's send our most advanced, most powerful ships out so that they can't help us win a war that we lose a third of our ships. Great plan. Our most powerful ships.
Yeah.
Great.
And the name of the show, Stranger Worlds, implies that it will be a lot of exploration and stuff, which I like. And considering that they can do aliens right these days with CGI and stuff, we could see some really strange stuff, and I like that. So. Yes,
but like
totally
I said,
on board.
Just in this case, though, just having the member worlds be done properly. And we got nicer ones in Discovery Season 3, for sure. Just refine them. And just, see an Andorian TOS Admiral. But like, in a classic TOS-esque uniform and come aboard and show a flag and, yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yes, Dan, I know that there were humans that were brought from Earth.
Your number 5, Stuart, is?
My number 5 is I want to see the engine room. That makes sense. Not that piece of shit we got in the beginning or the end of that one short. That huge cavernous thing. Again, caverns everywhere. I want to see an engine room that looks like a TOS engine room. Modernize it if you want. And everybody's can't look like it did in the 60s, Stuart. But
lack of creative ability if you can't make that design model.
Exactly.
That's
First of all, it can look good, but also you can modernize it and not have it be a goddamn warehouse. That's one of my big issues. And the engineering room is a very important part of the ship and the stories. So, yes, I want to see a proper looking engine room. The one we saw at the end of that short was not acceptable. So, yeah. And you said that too, that when you first saw it, you were just appalled by it. So yeah, it's definitely one of the things that's like the briefing room, the engine room, transporter room we've already seen, which I'm not optimistic about the rest of the ship.
The briefing room?
Yeah, the one with the table. The conference room.
When did we see that?
We haven't. I'm just saying those are important rooms that
right.
need to be done properly and look like they're supposed to. And it can look different than it did in TOS because in the cage it actually was quite different. It had stuff on the ceiling and So I mean, so the briefing room, the bridge, the transporter room, the engineering room, and sick bay. I mean, it all have to be done right. And from what we've seen of sick bay, if it is sick bay, it's very white, which I don't like. But it could the scene with Chapel that we saw could be on a starbase or something. We don't know yet. So I just want the key rooms to be done right, because they even said, when you close your eyes and think of those original sets, that's what we want to invoke. But they're not really doing that yet, are they? So
you're never, ever going to envision the short track engineering room as the Enterprise engineering room.
Yeah.
If you polled the population of the entire Earth, you wouldn't even get 1% that would, of Trek fans, I mean. You wouldn't even get 0.5%. You wouldn't even get 0.1%. You'd probably get like 4 people. And those are people that actually worked on that set. Oh yeah, I never saw Star Trek. That's my one. It's like, thanks. These aren't that
Donnie says, Captain James T. Kirk in command of the Sacagawea. Fascinating. Would we see that ship in Strange New Worlds as well? When was he captain of the Sacagawea?
That does not sound right.
Does not sound right. So I don't ever remember that.
But Stuart, give us some Super Chat and like goals, because again, Super Chats are quite light today, which is kind of odd considering everyone likes Strange New Worlds. But give us some goals, Stuart.
I have no goals for Super Chats. I'll let you do that.
Oh my god.
For likes, though, I still haven't hit my 130, so five more likes.
At least another 60 bucks, guys. Have your thoughts heard, etc. So yeah, engine room for sure. And the irony about doing sets that are modernized versions of the TOS ones is that they are buildable as practical sets. You can't build the Discovery sets as cheaply as effectively the ones that are green screen especially. You're wasting budget to show them. So we're taking this standard design and modernizing it a bit. You can actually have a physical set to shoot in, and everyone will be happier. Depends how much influence the team want to have on the canon. But I mean, the canon's the canon. We know what it looks like in TOS, so it has to get there. That's. I mean, there you go. But when anyway, cool. Engine room especially, yes.
Shane Ackrey puts in $2.
Thank you.
I want to see straight struts for the nacelles. I think you better be patient as far as our lists go.
Straight struts, eh? My number 4, though.
Yes.
Let me check my notes. That's the wrong folder. Is Enterprise Interiors.
Ooh, nice. Almost lined up.
Almost.
Last time our number 5 was the same, but unless you screwed up your count this time.
I've been careful. Now come on, this is whenever I work or see the Enterprise D sets, I feel like I'm home because of how amazing that place is and memories are, etc. TOS has a bit more of a hard edge to it because, of course, it was less relative budget for the build and whatever. But there's so much value in these sets, in these art designs, in we've walked them, we've felt them, we've lived them, literally and figuratively. So, we know they're not going to look exactly like this, they can't help it, but if they do them anywhere close to right, it'll be great. I don't have any faith in that. They'll do their own thing, and they might be great sets, but not right. But there's all these digital rooms that we want to see, and even seeing the Jeffries tubes, like the Enterprise Interior Darkly episode. Let's see Jeffries tubes. Let's see auxiliary control. Let's see these famous sets utilized. Let's see the bowling alley. I'm not joking. Let's see them go bowling.
I want to see the bowling alley. Yes.
Like it
should be on my list. Damn it, I forgot. Yeah, that would have been on my list.
I mean, again, LED wall. All it is them with 3 chairs and a little table, and then out of focus bowling alley around them, and that can be cavernous somewhat. So the interiors, this is ostensibly where we're going to spend our time the most, and we've seen from Discovery, they changed their costumes, they changed their phases, they changed they added new things to them, but they don't change the interiors because they cost the most. They take the most time to change. So if you commit to interiors that don't work, you're going to be stuck with them for years and years and years. So,
yep,
you need to be right, or at least justifiably wrong.
Yeah. The shuttle bay is another one I forgot to mention that should be done properly as well. Shane Ackrey puts in $2. I want to see. I read that one already. Sorry. The Ronin, $2. All I want are turbo lifts that make sense. That was my number 10. And Salisbury 2025, $5. Great job, guys. I'd love to I'd love to see Jeffrey Combs make an appearance as Dr. Phil Boyce. Yes.
Go back and check out Stuart's list. Ha 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 ha.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Your number 4 or 5?
My number 4 is the TOS Starfleet fleet. I actually want to see the fleet that's been talked about. I want to see other designs, whether it's just the Connies, as I mentioned with the Farragut. I don't care. There's a variety of ships. Whether you want to, take in the Franz Joseph ones as an example or not, doesn't matter. I just want to see the fleet. I want to see a fleet mass up at some point where they need to get the fleet together, or at least part of the fleets. I don't want the Enterprise to always be the only ship in the quadrant, just to save on visual effects. I want to see this TOS Starfleet that we've heard so much about. You always hear about the other ships. Occasionally you'll see one that's the exact same ship as the Enterprise, but there's nobody on it because they're all dead. I actually want to see a fleet of ships. I want some Starfleet presence. Because the Federation's pretty big. It's got borders. It's got people that are hostile. You can fend these off somehow, but we never really know how. So, there you go. Let's see a fleet.
I mean, yes. Yeah, design the new Connie that looks consistent, kit bash it into 9 different ships, a la every damn TOS ship ever, jump into FASA, show them off as random whatevers, just say we're going to go to Starbase just for one shot, just because we want to show those ships, see the Miranda variant, that's key.
Mm-hmm. Somebody mentioned the Reliant earlier, so yeah, let's see that, yep.
Yeah, no, 100%. No, they tried in Discovery, but the concept was rotten from the ground up. We all know that. What are you going to do? But, with 40% of the fleet getting just destroyed in Discovery, the Klingon War.
I thought it was 60%.
Is a lot, yeah. Now's the chance to justifiably have a new aesthetic. So, yeah, absolutely. Have those single nacelles, have those whatever, and even take the Discovery designs and rebalance them to look more TOS in line with the Enterprise. That's okay. Some of them might convert quite well. And I'm sure we'll see some of the Discovery designs, which might be still fun to see. Take the best ones, reuse them. But yeah, definitely the general fleet as is, for sure. Given that hero detail treatment, given that respect, given that light rig, given the stuff that,
As long as it's done properly, as you say, if they visit the Lost Era and they screw it up, it's screwed up forever. Same with some of these ship designs, but still, even if they are just the Discoverse versions in my mind, at least seeing ships is something we'd like to see. So,
I know that John Eves had the thing with all the Discovery era ships. They're all meant to be old designs. None of them are new. The Discovery was new, but it's obviously weird. All those other ships are decades old, so they are the old tech. They are not the cutting edge. It's how he could justify it to himself why they looked so out of era, because they're from the pre-TOS era.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't come across obviously at all.
No.
But yeah, no, this is definitely and just for the Trekyards, have a new ship each week. Give us a Saturday release, guys.
Yeah, this was a little bit of a selfish one on multiple fronts, just because I love ships and
yeah,
I love TOS ships and I love Trekyards and just talking about ships. So, ships.
Fantastic.
I know.
Fantastic.
Ooh, so what's your number 3?
My
we're
bronze.
into our bronze, silver, and golds now.
Ooh.
Which, guys, Super Chat, your number 1, let's say. We'll start now.
Yes.
Your Una. Super Chat, your Una, thing you'd like to see in Season 1 of Strange New Worlds. And don't forget, we're going to have the last Super Chat slot open at some point. So if you want to Skype in or snipe in for that, don't Skype in because we're Skyping. But snipe in and get that last Super Chat slot by all means.
At least $51, guys. At least. Help us get out of the red there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But yeah, what is the thing you... seriously, put a thing... Or if I can't poll... Or actually, put in your favourite and I'll pick the best 4 and make a poll so you guys can vote. So put in your thing you're most excited to see in Season 1. Or most want to see, I should say. That's different. Thing you most want to see. And I will make a poll.
Mm-hmm. topic of Eagle Moss, Trekyards 10 does not work on the new EU sites.
The new
Which
site?
depends what are you buying?
Yeah.
If it's a pre-order, it won't work.
And a lot of stuff's pre-order currently, rather
Yeah,
than...
if it's a pre-order, it won't work. So you got to everything else it'll work on, even the special editions and exclusives and stuff. But the only thing that our code doesn't work on is pre-orders. So.
And none of the codes do. I tried to use one the other day. Didn't
Yeah.
work. Yeah, so what thing do you most want to see in Stranger World Season 1? Put in some ideas down below and we'll make a poll out of 4 of them. And see what you guys think. But yeah, so different list so far, Stuart.
Mm-hmm. Some
think,
similarities.
I think definitely in our characters though.
I think number 1 might be the same, honestly, with the way we're headed. The Doctor, though, throws in $5. I want the first episode to begin with a zoom in through the bridge dome and Ethan yelling, "Sensors on." No, not sensors on. It's got to be close the circuit or...
Open the circuit!
Yeah, if they do something like that, that'd be awesome, actually.
Okay, so we have one answer of Andorians. Dr. Boyce.
All standard models says the code is invalid. Could be the new website, but
I don't know, they had a new
I
website.
haven't heard any other. The Canadian one's been down for a while, apparently. I will let our rep know and see what's going on.
Thanks for letting us know.
Sometimes they forget to renew it, which pisses me off.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got 3 out of 4 things. So put in the chat what you would most like to see in Season 1. We've currently got Andorians, Dr. Boyce, TOS Star Shuttles. We've got one more slot.
And Welder 215 throws in €5. I'd like to see some Vulcan, Tellarite, Andorian, and other Federation member world ships. Not everything in Federation is Starfleets. Yeah.
Yeah. Pike could say we're meeting the Andorian fleet here. X, Y, and Z could be fun. Yeah.
A retired Admiral Archer with either T'Pol or Phlox.
Well, Archer dies before the ship's launched, so he's not around anymore.
Yeah. In Saba Nur puts in $5. Want to see non-humanoid species. I'm sure we'll get a lot of that just because it's called Strange New Worlds and they have the ability to do that now. So yes. Future Go-On says, don't think I ever managed to get the Trekyards code to work on the EU Eagle Moss site, to be honest. I've heard a lot of people that have used it and it's worked fine, so. They've
always been a little bit tricky with what they, like I say, they have so many codes and so many people and so many things, they don't necessarily keep on track of them. Because at the end of the day, it's our job to keep them to account, not their job to tell us things are out of the way. Obviously, we aren't buying Eagle Moss with our own code. Which I probably should, actually. I probably should use our own code. I bought some stuff recently, but that was a pre-order, so I bought the other stuff. Anyway. Yeah, okay, so I've got 4 things. Lorian, Dr. Bryce, TOS Star Shuttle, and T'Pol. So I guess that's the thing you guys want to... Those are some of the 4. So vote now of those 4. What would you like to see? Intrigued what you guys would think. So my bronze, Stuart, is... Are you ready?
I am.
Are you steady?
Look at that. Hold on. It's 33% for 3. Oh, there we go. They're 33% for 3 of them. That was funny. All right. What's your bronze? What's your 3rd place, man?
The Klingons. Done right. Done right. Because this is their chance to fix, to apologize, to retcon their own retcon of the retcon of their retcon. The Klingons in Stranger Worlds. If you want to bring back L'Rell, fine. Just don't stop calling her mother. It's awkward. Doesn't quite work. Have the makeup be consistent and proper. It's not hard. Have a nice costume reminiscent of TOS, but not quite. Have some interesting political Cold Warians rather than all-out torpedoes blaring, killing babies, all this bullshit. Make them a political force that is worth respecting, rather than barbarians that aren't worth respecting, a la Season 1 and to some extent Season 2. Do them right, apologise to the fans, do them properly, have them have a presence. They're a Cold War in season, in whatever, and we've still got a little bit of that left over. Have Laurel be a force, have her get killed at the end of the show, and her death starts the Cold War because a new Chancellor comes in and is more aggressive towards the Federation. Laurel is not aggressive towards the Federation in the same way. That makes sense. That could be a fun payoff for the character. So yeah, Klingons done right. I don't want to see Klingons if they're done wrong, which is why I'm sure they stood away. They've kept away from doing them in Picard and etc. Do them right, bring them back.
Never even crossed my mind, even though they were on my list yesterday. But yeah, I just figured they'd butcher them when we see them. So, but yeah, I totally agree. There's definitely ways you can do things and explain things. Explain maybe not so much after they doubled and tripled down on what the Klingon stuff in Discovery, but yeah, just a visual retcon of saying, hey, nope, Discovery's a fever dream. Just ignore that shit. Yeah.
Or the further away we get from the war, the less they have had to have their heads shaved, etc., etc.
Oh God, stop with that shit. Shaved head bullshit. Rich McConville, $5. Put some gray in his hair and have Roddenberry as Captain April. Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Even have Jeffrey Combs as April would be kind of nice.
April in general would be great. Yeah, no, for sure. Come back as the old Captain of the Enterprise, his stomping grounds. Yeah. Yeah, no, I would love to see the Klingons, some hybrid approach. And as we've said for 3.5 years now, have all three types of Klingons. Have the smooth heads, have the ridged heads, have the Discovery, also the Season 2 variant where they're more balanced. Have the underclass be the TOS ones because of the augment virus, have the middle class be the standards, be the normal Klingons, and have the Discovery ones being a weird side variant where they wanted to, they took power because they were genetically modified to look more old style Klingon, like Worf was an evolution, whatever. And then you get the subclass, and then it's explained, oh, well, we don't want to fight. We sent our brave genetically modified warriors into battle, and we lost all of them. Now you lower class, you go and fight. And then you see the ships being crewed by the smoothheads. It's canon. It's in DS9. You can't uncanonize this. This is the fact. There are smoothhead Klingons all over the Empire. It's in Enterprise, it's in DS9, and it's in TOS. So it definitely out-canonizes Discovery. It's in three of the 5 shows. That's canon. Have all 3. Have the Rel take an antivirus. Yeah, have her do a Norton scan and look like a normal Klingon. And you can have so much fun with that, and we'd respect you for that. And it'd be fun. It'd be horrible, but it'd be fun to see them throw away smooth-head Klingons' lives away like nothing, and that's the political intrigue of the Klingons in that. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And we talked about this with Discovery. They could have incorporated all 3 different variations and made sense. They just didn't have the foresight to do so, unfortunately, which any real Star Trek fan would be able to figure out how to do it properly, So it bothers me a little bit. Yeah, we need Klingons to look like Klingons, even if they are the smooth-headed ones, which is fine. They probably won't do smooth head though, honestly. If they do, it'll probably still have a little bit of a ridge, kind of like Archer did when he was recovering, which would be fine. Just the resolution of TOS wasn't high definition, so you couldn't see the ridges. That's all. Fine, whatever. Small little explanation, but yeah, the Klingons are supposed to be a major player in everything that's going on, so we're going to see them. We're going to bump into them, so let's do them right. So yeah, I totally agree with you.
And I can even see there being a case of, cause exploring strange new worlds. It's not going to Klingon space, but I could see there being, they happen to be near the Klingon border, and they're exploring to the no man's land space, and they find a Klingon exploration force. And so they've got this, well, did we claim this new, we're exploring this quadrant, no, we're exploring this sector. And it's like, ooh, tension. But the Klingons are exploring to get resources, we're exploring to meet people, and yet it's this, you explore strange new worlds, but through the political tensionings of each, etc. And I, again, smooth heads are canon, so there should be smooth heads somewhere there. So, you don't erase that, it's the canon. So, that's the universe.
Yep, totally on board with you.
But yeah, they weren't as high on my list, but the more I was ruminating on it, I'm like, no, you have to fix them, do them right, relaunch them, Yeah.
E.R. Mixon's Craziest Theories throws in $5.
Thank you.
It says, I want to see a Lower Decks time travel crossover where they keep trying not to let him find out what happened to him without realizing he knows. A Lower Decks time travel crossover. By him, are you referring to Pike?
I assume
so. No, they can't do it. They're not going to do a Lower Decks time travel crossover episode. Good God. That's funny, though. Well, let's get into my number 3.
Bronze.
My bronze. Is exploration. The show is called Strange New World. Yeah, the show's called Strange New Worlds. Let's get some exploration. Let's get some going out and doing what Kirk was doing and finding new things, not always running. Like in TNG, there was a lot of running to Starbase, this and that, to do this, or ferrying diplomats around. This is not what the show's about. The show's about exploration, planets that humans haven't been to before. So, and like we said earlier, with the way CG is now, they can do aliens, they can do landscapes, they can do so many great things. This is TOS. Make it TOS style. Make it that over-the-top kind of exotic look. Like, yes, we've seen some really great stuff in the other series as well, but let's get more of that 60s feel as far as the extreme of exploration. This is what the show is promising. This is what I'm hoping for. And if they can do it and lock it down well, I think it'll be fun. And I want to walk away from these episodes feeling good and not feeling like I just got kicked in the balls like I do every time I watch Discovery. So, yeah, just bring back the exploration. That's what Star Trek's about. Let's just do it. Simple.
Yeah, no, and I like the idea of having the garish 60s, very colourful, very vibrant. Hopefully not in a very CG way, though. You can make these big, but think of the mycelial forest. It's like, okay, CG trees. It looks amazing, but you don't connect to it. It's just a CG tree fest. So there's that balance of real.
Well, could you imagine them walking around in like an Avatar forest? Like that kind of stuff would work and look amazing.
Because what you'd want to do is like Mandalorian, you buy or you make 12 trees and you put them in a formation with some grass, and they're all purple and they've got interesting coconuts, and behind them is this, the LED wall forest, and they walk through this practical piece of set, and a coconut falls down and it releases a CG bird, and so they can do it. Yeah, have that big colourful vibe. Just don't make it look too CG. So there's that balance, hard balance. So we'll see. But yeah, certainly exploring. I mean, it's one of the best names for a Trek show ever.
Yeah.
Better than Star Trek Pike. Well done for not doing that. Although it would have also been a success. Just, it promises.
Star Trek Discovery was a great name until they put out the product. But Discovery is perfect for a Star Trek name.
Yes, and they didn't discover Jack. Now they've discovered the future. But that's.
Oh, they discovered the mycelial highway.
Well, yeah, but they discovered it Stamets discovered it years ago. Like, he knew how to travel in it. It wasn't a new discovery. Anyway. Yeah, no, absolutely.
True. All right, so we're down to silver now, number 2.
Any other super chats?
Oh yeah, just Matt Boardman though, so we'll just ignore it. Moving on. Oh, Matt Boardman, $2. Please, no mirror universe in this series. Well, mirror universe is their trump card when things start to... That and cameos. Either cameos or bringing in legacy characters. They got 3 trump cards they can use if the series starts to falter a little bit.
I would be totally up for seeing a mirror universe ship lost in our universe with no crew.
Yes, in our universe, yes. I love that.
That's a caveat. And you have a mirror universe symbol and it gets destroyed or something. You know, that could be really fun. Basically just a reverse into Mirror Darkly. Oh, yeah. I died 6 years ago at the hands of you, Spock? You know, that could be super fun. But yeah, certainly don't go again. Yes, my silver is the Enterprise itself, the exterior of the ship. It gets my silver. I'm excited and I want to see the exterior. I'm tentative because obviously it's not going to be that dissimilar from the Enterprise from Discovery because we've already seen the interior of the bridge and they're not going to go too far, even though you can do the exterior easily. It's just a 3D model. But I'm wanting to see a better, more consistent, more coloured appropriate, nice looking bizarres that all fits better. Enterprise. This is the other character, the other whatever. Yeah, it's going to say the world when we see it to know how far into visual reboot they go or how correct they go. And obviously, Anson Mount said you don't visualize our Enterprise, you visualize this Enterprise. And it's never going to be the opposite. You know, half a century of time this thing has been a cultural touchstone. So to make something that looks a bit more familiar, a bit more consistent, a bit more... It doesn't take much to convert the other one into more like this. Doesn't take much at all. And if it is a newer version of the ship, then that would have to anyway. So yeah, I want to see the Enterprise done better. It won't take that much. Cross the fingers.
Yeah, just even changing the hull to look more appropriate as far as color goes would go a long way. And the straight struts and stuff. So yeah, so a refit of the ship in this first season. I mean, even though it's just already been refitted at the end of
Maybe it wasn't actually finished. Maybe that was just started. It was pre-refit. Yeah.
Run into an alien species. They see the size of the ship and they're like, "What is this? A ship for giants? This ship needs to be at least 3 times smaller than this."
We won't join a federation unless you do that. Like, oh, okay. I guess that's what we're doing then. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the size thing's the biggest problem, unfortunately. Even all the cosmetic stuff is fine, but, you know, you can't change that size and have it make any goddamn sense.
So yeah, that's my number 2. Which makes you think, obviously, what will number 1 be? Because yesterday it was the ships. But this only is my number 2.
Well, I'm eager to talk about my number 1 at some point. My number 2, though. My silver. Self-contained episodic formats. Much like DS9, actually. I want the episodic feel, but you can have overarching story plan, which is what they're going to do anyway, character-wise. So, but I want that feel at the end of the episode, like it's wrapped up. It's got that nice little TOS ending with a little bit of a laugh on the bridge. I don't want the dark feeling that we've been getting from Picard and Discovery. I definitely just want everything to feel like you don't have to watch every episode to feel. You should be able to jump into it and enjoy it, because that's how some people watch things. And if they don't get hooked because the story doesn't make any goddamn sense, they're out. So this needs to be a focus in this new series, in my opinion, to keep, because Star Trek, that's the format that works best for it. TV, episodic storytelling, especially for exploration and stuff. You hit a planet, you spend a week there, then you're on to the next planet. That's the way it should be. And yeah, the DS9 storytelling kind of nailed it because they had the episodic feel for a lot of stuff. Maybe later on they kind of focused a little bit too more on the Dominion War and the overarching story, but they always had the overarching little stories and the character moments. And I think that's exactly what they should do with this show. It's what they're promising they're going to do. I don't know if I have faith in it, though. So I think episodic is a very important part of this new Strange New World, and it should definitely be something that's focused on. So there you go. Standalone. Yes, beam me up right now.
Yeah, no, I certainly get that. I mean, Discovery Season 3 had some of this as well. Each episode was an actual full story.
So did Season 2, yeah.
Well, Season 2 was more bits and pieces. They kept shifting, and you could tell they were changing as they went, story-wise.
Yeah.
But Season 2, if you remember, was more about self-contained with a lead into the next episode, which got excited, but it didn't normally keep that excitement. So it was a clever grab you, but not actually succeed. And Season 3 was better at that. Yeah, hopefully they're 50-minute episodes. So you do full stories. You know, the characters will have the continuing growth of remembering what happens from week to week. That by itself makes it serialized, even if they're episodic stories. You know, you have a bad event last episode, then they refer to it in this episode, and they have a stiff drink of rum and ale because of it, etc.
Well, they're still repairing the warp drive. You know,
yeah.
Go to warp 2 this week. Yeah.
Yeah, we're in a space battle and there's damage on the hull. That simple. Yeah. I mean, the Discovery did that, and it was great for the last season anyway. And it, you know, with Lower Decks, it's this season. It's interesting because some episodes are memorable, some just somehow fade in memory. Because by episodic, you get to have the best and the worst. Whereas all I remember from season 2 of Discovery was, oh, that didn't end well. Storyline.
Yeah.
So yeah, they can also have more misses when you have episodic.
That's fine though.
No, it's fine.
When you have a miss and it's all an overarching story, then the whole story falls apart, unfortunately, because it's a flaw in the story. You know,
because also if they have like 3 really groundbreakingly great for them quality episodes, you can forgive almost the entire season for being mediocre. Because episodic can just have really good stories.
Yeah.
And by letting the cast vary in terms of primary in between, so this is a Pike story, this is a number 1 story, this is a Spock story, this is a Spock and number 1 story. You get to enjoy, you know, do I like the Pike character more? Great. We'll have this and this. So yeah, I mean, we know it's going to be. So I'll just add on to that a little bit by saying I hope they have good ideas for episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of good ideas, the poll, which was based on you guys' suggestions, 104 votes, 5% for Lorians in season 2 or 1. Dr. Boyce was 21%, pretty respectable. 2S-star Shuttles was 35%, but the winner was seen to poll out of these suggestions, although relatively evenly split. Pretty interesting.
To Paul or to poll? I suppose a poll. Eric Martin, $5. Other than Spock, what other TOS characters will show up while Pike is still in charge? Well, Uhura, obviously. Sulu, Scotty, could.
Yeah, I think we'll get Scotty by the end of the season or by the next season. I think he'll be an absolute.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think that's a no-brainer. Like, I wouldn't even be honestly surprised if Simon Pegg agreed to do it, but he's too old now. Like, to kind of come and do 2 episodes, I think he'd be really good. Having a classic uniform, because he's
you don't want that. You don't want to muddy the water though, and have the Kelvin guys in this. Because then people that don't know any better are like, oh, this is the same.
Who cares about them? Give them a different haircut. I don't care. They're Kelvin fans. If they're just Kelvin fans, doesn't matter what they think. Sorry. Oh no, Strange Worlds has my actor. Okay. It's like when we saw Chris Pine in Saturday Night Live playing Shatner in TOS uniform, who's actually rather good. It was surprising.
Yeah.
You know, so they're absolutely fine to, you know. It's like have Quinto back for some side Vulcan role. Be great. He does a good Vulcan, just not a good Spock Vulcan. It does vary drastically between scenes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, guys, quick vote. What is our number 1s? I really want to know what you guys think we're going to have.
And we have 162 likes Let's go for 175.
That's
So hit
fair.
that like button if you haven't. And honestly, another $40.
Probably perfect. That's close. We're right. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah. Another 40 plus the last super chat slot, which is owned by Eric Martin right now. Because we are winding down. We're on our number ones now. So let us know what you think our number ones are. And super chat at those if you can, because that'd be good.
Thanks,
yeah.
Doctor. Have a good one.
Ooh, see you, Doctor.
Dear me. Although speaking of, if you live in the UK, the FCD event group organisation that I work with doing green screen, they've announced that Dr. Phlox himself is coming to their next Star Trek, or they're doing a Star Trek event again. They did Stargate and Babylon 5 last time, but they're doing Star Trek. And Dr. Phlox is going to be going, so I'll be, assuming the days don't clash, or something unbelievably difficult to move from, like the Discovery season finale or something, like, well, I can't miss that. That'll be an event, and then get your photo with Dr. Phlox on green screen. I have to work out if I'm actually going to do an extra one sick bay, because I don't know what else I'd use that for, but that can be said for many different sets. So I mean, I've never met the man. I've been to conventions for 15 years now, still never met him, so I'm quite excited just for the abstract of add to the list of met. So yeah, Dr. Phlox himself, and he's in Stargate. He kind of steals the show in Stargate as well, in Orville as well. When the two doctors faced off.
Devo 77X, they're going to have badges instead of patches on their uniforms. Probably not. They know that comm badges don't exist at this point unless you're Section 31.
Well, they're going to have badges that don't work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see them going back to patches ever, honestly.
No. Mencken to Chris Doohan to return as Scotty. No, he's not. He couldn't be a full-time actor in that role, unfortunately.
He's also too old.
Yes.
Well, he looks too old. Because Scott was pretty damn fresh face in his first appearance, actually. I mean, have him be Scott's dad. Sure, I'll be all for that.
Let's see. So, hope they changed in the cell struts. Fun will not commence since number one is ships. All original cast could appear in the final episode when it's revealed the entire series was holodecks. Oh my god.
Oh my god, yeah, Shatner comes back and he's in Wrath of Khan uniform, and it takes place in Picardia, and they've realised it's a setup for Picard season 4. They've brought back Shatner to play Kirk, and he's doing a whole explanation of pre-Cage to learn about Spock's pre-life, and then it cuts to him with Picard, and it's like, are you ready for an adventure, Kirk? I was dead ready. Because I died already. You saw me. Now I'm back.
Preston M, $2. Maybe not my number one, but some TOS stations like K7. Yeah, TOS stations would be great. Eric Martin, $5. I want the old TOS fight music back. Blue phasers and torpedoes as well. Yes, the fight music is a must. Yes. All right, well, let's get to our number ones.
Although, yes, I'll read Lower Decks' controversial comment. Lower Decks said, to be honest, I hated original Star Trek. TNG got me into Star Trek. Stranger Worlds hopefully fixes this. Original Star Trek, bad stories, too campy, but I get it. Time of production. I mean, campy, maybe, but bad stories, certainly not. Some of the best stories are in TOS. The best sci-fi, like hard sci-fi. Easily some of the best stories. Best concepts.
And they won awards for their effects at the time, so, or at least were nominated, so.
Yeah, that's one thing TOS has going for it. The stories hold up extremely well. You know, a bit more sexism, but it wasn't sexism at the time. You know, gender non-equality, but you know, is there full gender equality in the military all the time? You know, chain of command is a thing. Don't know, but hey, doesn't appeal to everybody. You know, some people don't like TNG, some people hate TNG, so can't appease everybody. So Stuart, my number one
2 more likes.
is, I'm glad you said it, Exploring Strange New Worlds. Beats the Enterprise is my number one, because I do think this is this is even though by its very nature that will have hits and misses, we don't have exploration in Star Trek currently. in any form. Even lower decks aren't exploring. That's not their purpose. There is no exploring in any of the Treks. There hasn't been since Enterprise. That's 20 years and 17 years, 16 years. So that's a long time. Most of my life, Trek has either been off the air or more into shooty, bang, bang, darkness. You know, wow, okay. So yes, explore. Go to a planet, have a cool, interesting story. Go to a nebula, have a cool, interesting story. Go to a space station, have a cool, interesting story. You know, find an abandoned Andorian space station that we thought was lost 50 years ago, and on it you find this and this. Wow, what a cool story! You know, you could throw out hundreds of single line, cool ideas, and then develop a story around it. Going to cool things, doing new things, exploring the characters while you do it, exploring the universe while you do it. This is what was the bread and butter of Star Trek for, 35 years, 40 years? To its detriment, you could argue in Voyager, that's because the same people ran out of ideas. You know, whatever. But
yeah,
doing cool things, interesting things, and without, you know, they are going to throw money at this thing. And the cast isn't, yes, okay, Anson Mount, I'm sure, asked a very large fee to be in it, given the entire show revolves around his character. You know, like, he has to sign on, otherwise the show can't happen, so he basically wrote his own check. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But not as much as Patrick Stewart, of course, who would be able to charge 2 or 3 or 4 times as much. You know, movie star, etc. But if the actors were conscious enough to keep their checks written low enough to allow the show to do a good budget and use the budget, because often in the feature films, you're like, yeah, 70 million budget. Or how much to spend on its 4 highest actors? 20 million. Oh. How much to spend on directors and producers? Another 10 million. Oh. How much on marketing? Another 10 million. Oh. How much was the film? Yeah, 15 million. Wait, what? That can happen. You know? So, yeah. This wins out for me. Fresh, new stories, going out and exploring. That is why number 1. I didn't think it was going to be, but it got my number 1.
Well, it's in my top 3, so.
Yeah, 100%.
Which I think surprises you, probably.
Oh,
Wouter 215 throws in €5.
Thank
Strange New Worlds idea, donut-shaped planet.
Yeah.
Better than a disc or something on the back of a turtle.
Maybe they fly in the flat planet, and everyone's like, "Our planet's a globe," but they're like, "No, it's actually flat." No, it's not. No, the science. That could be their allegory. They find a flat Earth. Cool.
Yeah, exploration for sure. That's what the name invokes it in this show. So let's do it. Let's see it. I want to see cool stuff.
Stuart's number 1, guys. Well, we get our final $22 and 10 likes. Stuart's number 1. Let's see if we were all right.
My number 1 is classic-looking Enterprise.
Wait, what? This isn't the Enterprise. What?
I like the Discovery Enterprise. I hate when I say, you know, I wish the Enterprise looked more like the TOS one. If you're like, the Discovery one's really nice. Yeah, I know. I agree. It's a great design.
We were there.
It just would have been better for the reboot in 2009, in my opinion. It's a great design. Johnny's did a good job with it. I just wish the visual effects guys wouldn't have messed with his struts and changed the struts to swept back.
Palette.
Yeah. So change it back to John's original look, which they might have done. We're hoping. They haven't shown us the ship yet, probably for a good reason. But the straight struts and the white hull texturing is key, with the gold accents, like on this deflector dish and stuff. And even John, when he designed those struts, designed them to be thicker with the space in the middle, so that down the road, right before Kirk gets it, that back part gets taken out, and you got the slimmer struts. That's how it was designed. That's how it should be. I have spoken. So yeah, the Enterprise is definitely my number 1, because as you guys know, I love the Enterprise. It's my favorite character, and I want to see it treated right. So there you go.
And a thicker primary hull, because the Discovery and I've worked with the Discovery Enterprise before, and it is too thin. It does not look good from every angle. The classic Enterprise does. This ship does not look good from every angle. It's bad from the front, like really misproportioned from the front.
Yeah. That squat little neck too is what causes that as well. Extend the neck and the struts a bit.
But it's also because the angle's more slicier. It needs to be thicker,
Yeah.
more classic, just in general shape-wise. And then cells are... I mean, we've had this discussion, obviously, a few times. Ironically, the things he changed most are things they have to refine back a bit more.
Mhm.
Same with that cutout on the secondary hull, loosen it by like another 30%.
Yeah.
And take that lip out. My God, why has it got a lip? This isn't the Titan, John. But I can inform everyone, bit of a fun reveal. I am currently doing a Connie 1.3 Avalon Universe redesign, which is fun because it doesn't have to link to Prime whatsoever because the Avalon Universe is its own timeline, and we are not developing it into the Phase 2 or the TMP. We're actively evolving the TOS look into a more advanced looking TOS look. It's a very interesting approach. So it's not different and new. And I've already done some nacelles I quite like. I've done another, it still has to look somewhat mostly the same, but an updated one with some new details. I'm quite excited to see how that one looks because it'll be actually looking different. And I've never worked like a lot with a fresh sort of Connie variant, so I'm quite excited to see what I come up with there.
Fleet Paws fifth back, $2. Enterprise is the star. She's the leading lady. Yes. And Anson Mota said that and posted that on Twitter quite a while ago when they started filming, and he actually said it at Star Trek Day. That was his closing statement. Let's not forget that the Enterprise is the star of this show, and we treat her right, or whatever he said. So that gives me hope anyway. So.
Well, the only reason Star Trek 4 blows up and we care is because it was a character. Yeah.
Star Trek 3. Eric Martin, $2. I vote for strange humming noise on alien planets. Yes. Yes. Another $10 would be great, guys. Great way to end up. Another 2 likes would be great. Lois Deck throws in $5 Australian.
Thank you.
Love your work, guys. I'd love your original Enterprise arrive. I'd love original Enterprise arrive in Picard. Yesterday's Enterprise type episode. Hospital sucks. Out soon. Well, we didn't know you were in the hospital. But yeah, hopefully everything goes well.
Yeah, seriously.
Thank you for watching. But yeah, yesterday's Enterprise type episode in Picard, that might be interesting.
Yeah. No, I could get behind that. But again, if it's retconning, this is how it really looked, etc., that'd be a problem. But could be real fun.
We hit our 180 goal.
But guys, who's surprised that Stuart's top one was Enterprise? I was obviously my instinct is that yes, it's going to be. I was like, you know what? It's not going to be. That's going to be his number 2, and there'll be a really unique number 1. I'm not unhappy that that's what happened. I was like, ooh, is it gonna be?
Consider my top 3 were Enterprise, episodic format, and exploration.
Can't get more classic.
Yeah.
So guys, we are $3.50 away from a minimum. We're not at a minimum yet, but I mean it's still a minimum, just not the good minimum, but it's still a minimum.
Lowest Dex is now the last super chat slot, so if anybody wants to snipe it from him, now's the chance. General Grievous, if you're here, it's your turn. It's your time to shine, my friend.
Open up your lightsaber hands and show these young whippersnappers.
Have you watched Star Wars Visions yet?
No.
I'm into episode 5, and I'm like, well, I won't say anything. It's.
Well, I said I wasn't really eager to watch it, so I didn't even realize it was out. Are they one long story, or is it 5?
No. They're all anthologies.
Yeah,
they're short ones. It's kind of like Love, Death, and Robots.
So you say on episode 5 you're not thrilled. I mean, surely they vary in quality. Some are better than others, and some you enjoy.
I haven't really enjoyed any of them yet, and the animation styles are all garbage so far. But I have hope that 7 and 8 are good, because I've heard good reviews about those ones. So. Yeah,
I don't know. Just none of the trailers excited me. Are they all dubbed subbed? Are a lot in Japanese?
No, they're not in Japanese at all. They're in
Okay.
English.
Because I saw them on trailers and they're all...
But they're in that anime style, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that. Depends how good the stories are. How long are they?
They vary. It's like I said, it's like Love, Death, and Robots. Some are 15 minutes. Some are, that's about where they are. 15 minutes, 10 minutes.
Wow, so they really are short stories.
Yeah.
So Trek shorts, basically.
I wasn't really paying attention.
Oh, so you can watch like five in one.
You can watch all of them in like 2 hours. Yeah. Same with Love, Death, and Robots. I watched season 1 like in one night, just an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it took.
Yeah, I haven't seen that show.
Oh, so good. Lowest Deck puts in $5 Australian. Ooh. Accounting for currency exchange. Here is your $3. Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks.
You almost hit the nail right on the head.
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, 2 more likes.
Still a super chat slot. You sniped yourself out. So
you did. No, that's good though. So I mean, I know they're not canon, but do any of them like fit into the grander Star Wars universe, or are they so random that it's just like, why am I watching random Star Wars-esque stories? Or do they kind of feel like they're part of the universe? Or is it all varied a bit?
Yeah, it varies. Some are very random and out there. Yeah, none really feel like they fit, honestly.
Because again, I've only seen one trailer, but I saw a samurai-looking dude in a hut with a lightsaber. It's like, well, why is there like, it felt just like it was a samurai movie, but with a lightsaber, which is not...
Yep. That's because that's what George Lucas's original inspiration was. So that they did that's the first one. It's all in black and white, and it's all Japanese. Even the astromech droid has Japanese hat on. It's really stupid. I didn't enjoy it. A lot of people thought that was a good one. So
doesn't mean you should go back to, there's a reason why things are unique. Because I mean, even having the Mandalorian episode where we saw this same concept was good because of the Ahsoka stuff, and it wasn't good because of the whatever.
Squadra Course throws in $2. Take that, Grievous. Fleet Paw puts in $2. Hello there.
Hello there.
And Preston puts in $5. Just hoping for that TOS feel to the episodes. Yes, that's the overall thing that we want out of this.
I don't remember if Frakes is directing any. I would assume he would be, but to see like classic Trek directed by Frakes, that's interesting. I can't quite. I assume.
I assume they'll get him on for sure. Yeah.
Because that would be fun to see. How do you take on a TOS episode? On that note, guys, though, we're exactly at time. So you are reminding the audience what you're doing, and we'll give them a quick pitch or quick pimp what we're doing this week.
I'm doing nothing. I'm going to Alberta tomorrow.
That's something, Stuart. That's what I'm saying. You're doing something real.
I won't be doing anything with you guys. Screw you guys. I'm going home. Anyway, no, I'm heading to Alberta tomorrow. Got to pack and stuff tonight. I got a lot to do tonight, actually. So yeah, we got to end this quick-ish. So going to Alberta Thursday. I might do a late night live from the hotel. I'm not sure. Friday, we're still doing our review of Lower Decks. And then I'm back on Wednesday, so I don't know what the beginning of next week's going to look like. So I'll be back when I'm back.
I aim to bring Marcus Churchill on for Thursday's live. That'll be fun. And then maybe seeing James Bond at the weekend. Who knows?
And Lowest Deck puts in $10 Australian.
Oh, goodness.
Says, hey, I'm entitled to hate DS9, paying fine to command. Eric Martin, $2. Will Klingons have head ridges? We already kind of talked about that, Eric.
Eric, they better, but also not. Both. And Lowest Deck, yeah. No, I mean, hey, DS9, a lot of weird elements. A lot of great elements. All weird elements. But no, Garrick was not gay. He was maybe bi for the mission.
Even though Andrew Robinson said he was.
Well,
played him that way.
But I guess if we can take George Takei saying Sulu wasn't gay, and we say the actor knows, then I guess we can say Garrick is. But it's the sci-fi future. People like people, aliens.
Yeah.
Gay subtext, especially later on. You know, maybe the first 2 times they meet, but later on, no, they're
Even Malcolm Reed was played as shy around girls, and um, whatever the hell the name of that actor is, said he was playing him that way too. So
wow, subtext.
yeah,
So deep.
Turd Ferguson. I know. Turd Ferguson.
Oh
$2.
wow, what a hat.
2 weeks, 14 papers, $2. I want my $2. 2 weeks, 14 papers. Okay, $2. There you go.
I assume you've written 14 papers. Good, well done. If that's what you're saying. Thanks so much.
Preston M, $1 snipe. So thank you so much. But anyway, guys, we're going to get going, and thank you for watching. We'll see you when we see you.
I'll see you
guys on
Thursday
Friday.
night. Leave on Friday. Have a good trip, Stuart.
I'll try.
Have a good plane. Bye, guys.
I hope to see you guys soon.